Hello and welcome to a third video. This time we're going to be painting the gold non-metallic. I'm going to be using a different recipe than I used from the one I did for Glorial, because I wanted to show you guys how different everything can be. Once you know what to do, everything becomes easy and all the colors can interchange themselves. You don't have to follow specific recipes. So I'm going to be using purple in the shadows, of course. In the strongest palette, I'm going to have the cold yellow, which I already have on the palette. Let me show it. It's here. Let me actually get some space on the palette so I can do the gold here. And anyway, we're gonna have like mid-tone orange ochre for the mid-tones. So let's start from that. I'm gonna be mixing game color scrufulous brown with English uniform from model color, and get those two colors mixed together and get ourselves a nice mid-tone color. I don't want too much orange in this. I want this gold to be kind of colder, because of course we have all of these cold colors here, so need to keep the gold, in contact with itself. Use my headphones to comb my hairs back so you get less hairs in view. Okay, this feels good. Let's base coat. Maybe let's thin a little bit for the base coat. This color is fairly bright, so I'm gonna be adding already a bit of purple to it. Darken it. See? It's way darker now. Well, not way darker, but it is darker. Okay, we're good with the base coat. Now we can make it darker, like a lot darker, using our purple here, even adding a bit of black. And this will be our shadow color, so we can so layer it in. Now the tricky thing when painting non-metallic like this is that you get one particular detail painted fairly well and consistent with itself, like the armor, and then the second detail you just don't know what to do, and you just slam highlights left and right, and they don't make sense with the model. These highlights that I'm gonna be placing on the gold have to make sense with the highlights on the green, otherwise, where is the light coming from? And that's the most important thing. For example, here on the leg, I have the strong highlight here. I'm not gonna place a shadow here. I'm gonna place an highlight there. Keep consistency. So I am just gonna be shading accordingly with the paint job, like this. See, I can get a shadow there and continue the highlight. At the same time, I have to follow the volume of the object itself, which means that I'm gonna be making sure that I am highlighting in the proper way and shading in the proper way, not just placing color. They have to have a shape that makes sense. Now this could be slightly more difficult to understand, because if you have a light here on the leg, you were like, well, I want a light here too. Well, no, because if the light is coming from this direction, this right side of the armor he has here will be very much shaded rather than being highlighted. But we can connect the two highlights on the little ridge coming out of here. That can be our highlight. And since we are highlighting that one, that means we could probably maybe shade this one. And it basically becomes a game of Sudoku, really. You just know where the numbers go. You're just trying to get them to be in the right place to solve the issue you have. And that is it, dude. Here on the back, the way this is sculpted is a bit more weird, because there is a sharp edge between the... It's making a pyramid shape, but at the same time it's very rounded, so you gotta pick which one of the two you want to follow. I am choosing the rounded one just to have a bit of variance happening on the model. Okay, so we shaded all of the areas. By shaded, I mean placed the highlight, the shadow color. we can reinforce it because we need to make sure that the color actually is covering before we work on the blend. Try to push the color always in the direction of where you want it to be strongest, so that you have an easier time later blending, but make sure it also covers. Otherwise it looks dirty more than shaded. Okay, now we blend. So we're making a mix of two colors, and we're using that same way we did on the armor, kinda, layer consistency, and we're using that to place it between the two colors and getting to blend. I feel like this could be slightly brighter, so okay. With the colors blended, we can proceed to highlight, and what I'm going to do is add a touch of yellow with a touch of ivory, very like a mix of the two. I'm not going to be using this as an highlight just yet, but I'm going to be adding this. Let me just remix the mid-tone very quickly. And there we go. Since I had the brush dirty from the highlight, I can already use this. And I need to be the same mentality I had when working on the armor needs to happen here as well. Small highlight area. Doesn't have to be massive. I am placing this color inside of the area of highlights. I will blend, of course, so it looks weird now, don't worry. Okay, you can see that it's already looking gold, just needs blending, but it's good. And by blending, I don't mean smooth blending GW style, I mean in between colors to bridge everything together. Because this color here, although it has the previous colors mixed in into it, it doesn't have enough of them to actually be the brother. Okay, I have just had the perfect way to explaining how what blending really supposed to be. So listen up. Imagine all colors to be like related to each other, right? And they're part of a family. Well, when you're blending, you want to have all brothers sitting next to each other. Shadow, the darkest shadow is gonna be brother to the first shadow, which is gonna be brother to the mid-tone, which is gonna be brother to the first highlight, and brother to the second highlight. When you get like a garish look like this, like when the colors don't really match, although they should because they are part of the same mix, the reason is because you are extending and increasing the separation between the brothers and making them cousins or something. The colors are part of the same family because I do have the ochre and the scrofulous brown added into this very bright yellow. But what you need to think about is that this bright yellow is a lot more in quantity in the mix than the other two, which means that is the cousin of them. So what we need to do is have this color marry with the sister of one of the other colors so that they become brothers. And yes, it's fucked up because it's a cousin, but whatever. Colors don't care about, cultural things. Whatever. Just we need a bridging color. So we don't need a smooth blend. Although if we attempted to smooth blend, we would create a brother between the two because we would be mixing these colors together. What we need is just something to bridge them together. And we are going to in a minute. But before I do that, I want to finish placing these highlights. Okay. We can blend. Same things as before. I don't really feel like I need to explain this anymore. I'm just gonna make an in-between and use that in-between to blend. Okay, we're back. Uh, One thing you might think when you see me, cut the video short, it's not because I'm about to use some magic tricks that I don't want you guys to know. It's simply because I don't have enough space on my hard drive to be able to record such prolonged sessions because the blending takes a while and like 5 minutes of video is like 500 gigabytes. I don't have enough space for that on my hard disk, so I am cutting those sessions short because I want to show you guys what I'm doing, how I do it, why I do it, but I don't want to bore myself and you having a video that's like fucking 2 hours long for no reason, right? If you guys want me to go full on showing the whole process, just let me know. I will do it, but let me know, okay? I need feedback. That said, we did blend this, so now we got highlighted. So let's work on that. Let us highlight. So the color we previously mixed, that very strong yellow, can actually come useful now, because we can use it to get the last highlight. So very, very, very small area of coverage. I'm not looking to cover everything I painted so far, and all the blending I so carefully done. Just looking to make these highlights stronger. Okay. While I'm here, I can also use this color to edge a light, since it's fairly bright. Always have a position of the model that allows you to have a simple brush stroke. You know, the mark of a good painter is not how good he or she is in painting something despite the condition of the brush stroke, which means uncomfortable. The mark of a good painter is how good they are in understanding that they can't reach or achieve a good brushstroke, so they move the object around to better do it. Okay? So you're not good if you can do edge lights like this. You are good if you can move the model around. Because, you know, our brains are lazy objects. They like simplicity, especially when it comes to mechanical movements such as painting. Painting is a very mechanic heavy kind of deal, and you want to make the mechanics of your brain, you know, not have to think about different movements. You want to train a movement into your body and be able to perform it all the time, right? So if your body is trained to do this brush stroke like this, you know, like a simple sideways brush stroke, you gotta allow it to do it rather than train it to do brush strokes in all degrees. Just train it to do one brush stroke very well when doing edge lights, I mean, and move the model around so that that brush stroke can be performed. You can see that as I place the edge lights, the metal is starting to look more and more alive, and that's because non-metallic requires you to edge light. Okay. So with that done, we can thin this color a bit more and use it since. Okay, so since this color doesn't have much coverage because it's a very bright yellow, I can actually glaze in this highlight in a sense that I placed it and now I can reinforce it by glazing towards it. And I will blend and at the same time get a stronger highlight because I'm putting more pigments in that area where the highlight is already placed. So, you know, always be flexible with the way you paint. You don't always have to do the same blend, the same thing. But if you feel comfortable doing a specific thing and you feel like you have control over it more than you do with other things, then be my guest. But you can also try things out. Okay. I think we're good. Looks very metallic to me. I like it. It's interesting. It's alright. So, yeah. One thing we can do for the maximum effect is glaze a bit of the ochre we had. Let me just remix very quickly. The mid-tone color. We can glaze that very, very gently over this highlight to give it a bit more of a brown hue. Because basically, gold is never yellow. It's yellow only it's in its strongest highlight, which means that if I feel like, in this case, for example, I feel like I have done the highlights well, but they are too big. So rather than, you know, making them smaller, I can glaze a color to make unit blend and make change the hue of this yellowish tone to a more orange tone, like gold is supposed to be. And since it's a glaze, I'm not really covering any of the work I've done. Actually, I'm making it stronger because I am blending it slightly more. The colors I placed are still there. I'm not losing them. You can see that now looks more like gold. Before this glaze, it looked more like brass. And that's like the difficult thing about gold. I can do videos specifically talking about non-metallics and what makes them what they are if you want. But again, I need your feedback. The comment section on the Patreon is not there for looks. It actually has a use, and I would like to use it more. Feel free. Also, you know, like in a very egotistical kind of way. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know, at least with a like, because at least I know that I've done something good. Like I am a person that works through feelings a lot. Like I'm an artist after all, but you know, if people appreciate what I do and they let me know, I feel so much better about it. And again, it's very childish, I know, but that's kind of how I am. So we have this color here, and now we can redo the highlight with it. This time making it a lot smaller. Nice, isn't it? Yeah, let's finish edge highlighting. We have this strong edge here. Gotta be careful, don't want to ruin everything I did. Okay. Now the last thing we can do, if we really want to push the contrast, since we have all of this yellow here, is make basically a dark purple, like a very dark purple, completely ignoring the mid-tone we did. You know, remember when we did the mid-tone, we had some purple added to the ochre to give it like the hint. Well, now we're taking that hint to the next level by making a very, very dark purple. We can make the shadows. Basically, this is kind of like a black line. Not really though. But yeah, we can make the shadows a lot darker. Be careful with this because you are basically, imagine, like, you know the last highlight I did? And it was a very small highlight which I did inside of the small highlight which was inside of a small highlight. This is the same thing. We are highlighting the dark, okay? If you can't, you know, wrap your head around shading, that is fine. Imagine it as if you are highlighting the shadow. So rather than go brighter, you're going darker. That's pretty much it. An highlight in the shadow. But it is dark. Yeah, through this color we can achieve like more contrast and, you know, overall just improve the quality. I don't want to put it everywhere. I just want to have it. It will be barely noticeable, barely noticeable. But if you are to put this model in Photoshop and, you know, push the vibrancy of the colors, the shadows will look purple, and that is enough. The human eye perceives colors in a almost animalistic kind of way. So even if you can't see them, they are there, and if they are there, they have an effect. So you don't necessarily have to see the color for it to have an effect on you. Keep that in mind as well. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think we are done with the golds, and we will move on next video. I don't know on what. I don't know if I want to do the details or the non-metallic weapons or something else. I guess we'll find out together next video. Thank you so much for watching.